Right there, Fred. Hello there, my name is Metembe Thomas Chuma. Welcome to the Son of Kama podcast. Today, I have got another lovely lady at the podcast. How are you, lady?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Really? So I'm just lady. How are you, lady?
I didn't want to say, but I'm not sure about your full name. I'm not particularly sure. So
Jesus Christ.
So I just wanted to be safe. Because I didn't want to say Ashley because that's Conan, but I wasn't sure. Maybe is it Ashley? Is it Asha? I didn't want to overstep my bounds.
Oh my God. So maybe I should introduce myself. Right?
Yes, you probably should.
Hi everyone. I'm Ashley Makaza. Welcome to the Son of Kama podcast.
And today I'm wearing the other t-shirt that I have.
Nevertheless,
she persisted.
Okay. She persisted.
Okay. She tried.
Okay.
So today we're gonna talk about the African heritage and stuff like that, and how we're losing our culture as a people, and what do you think is causing the erosion of the cultural?
I don't know. I think I feel like mostly it's us black people not embracing our culture. I think it emanates from us black people wanting to be white, wanting to maybe it's not necessarily wanting to be white, but we are just doing this thing whereby we are just embracing the white culture and letting it change our culture, right? We are out here saying our culture is dynamic, things need to change, but we don't realize that we are actually eroding our own culture.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think of it as from the point of view I think most people are not happy being themselves. And they don't like being black. They don't like, and maybe most of it comes from at home, man. If they don't give you that validation at home, you look for it somewhere else.
Yes, that's true. And also for African people, of course, because we're colonized, obviously, we were made can I say made to believe that the white man is superior. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Because I was reading these history books, and by reading I mean watching videos on YouTube. That's how I research.
Okay.
And I found I realized something that was quite interesting, and that there's so much history that we don't know. Like the Egyptian history. Egyptians are Africans. They had black pharaohs, and I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, they had black pharaohs too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were guys that look like me that were running Egypt. I was like,
wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then there was this guy from Mali who had a lot of money, had a lot of gold and stuff. And then I'm like, why then am I always learning about Hitler and all
and Mussolini and all that?
That is
the Great Depression. Yeah, exactly. That has got nothing to do with us. I mean, why do we have to learn European history when we don't even know what happened, the whole apartheid system in South Africa? We are Zimbabwean, right?
We don't know
the full story. We didn't learn that in school.
We just got a piece of the story.
You see now.
And there's this other thing that was interesting that I saw. Do you know there was a time in the World War II, I think, the Nigerians, they were destroying the Italians. They were just chasing them and they were just gunning them down. It's a lovely story if you read about it. But then I was like, I was never told about this part.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you see, you should look into it. It's quite interesting. It happened in the Second World War. The Nigerians, they were really killing those dudes. But then they will never tell us that. And I don't expect them to tell us that. Because the system, man, that was for teaching us. It wasn't really designed to help us in any way. Because it was designed by the white dude that was that was running the show back then. So I don't expect them to help us. For example, if you colonize someone and you just make sure that you take away all the tools, not just to prevent the uprising today, but you want to prevent the uprising
for 1,000,000 years. Yes.
And that's what happened basically.
Cheers. That's deep.
But then no one cares about this stuff.
We don't care. We don't even realize. That's the funny thing about most people, we don't even realize that we have got this colonial mindset. This, it's so huge to the point that we do not even realize that.
Okay.
We don't even realize that.
My dad, did you see what I did with the "that's what she said" thing?
What? What did you?
Like you said, like it's so huge, and then I was like, "That's what she said."
Come on, don't try to be funny here.
Let's
have a serious conversation.
Yes, a serious conversation, but
Let's
I'm
have
trying
a serious
to, you know, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like this, but like you should like really watch out for those because I do those a lot. Like that's what she said. But like this thing is very hard. I'm like, that's what she said.
Okay, I'll watch out for that. I'll watch out. Yeah, because this is my first time. Yeah, why is it I wasn't invited before?
Yeah. I don't invite a lot of people to the podcast. No, you can answer. I can be talking while listening.
No, it's fine.
All right. So like I don't like invite a lot of people to the podcast because I am afraid that they're gonna say no, and then I'm gonna be left there holding an empty set.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, well, it doesn't feel nice.
Yeah, I understand.
But then it's much more nice if I know that people want to come to the podcast and I can be like, oh, okay, cool. Come over, let's do this thing. Okay. Man, am I recording? Yeah, we're recording. Ooh.
So are we going to cut this part out because we were just rambling? You know?
No, like this is part of the experience.
Okay.
That's part of the experience. That's what makes it nice. So you were saying like nobody cares about this stuff, nah?
Nobody does. We don't even realize that we have this colonial mindset. Mm-hmm. It's such a part of us that you realize that even I remember in Shona, when someone is your boss or is your customer, you call them Murungu.
I'm like,
a white person, like, you see, what does that tell you?
Yeah, like, it's so deep in like it's now inside it's a natural reaction.
You see now.
I don't know if I've talked this.
We have normalized this thing. It's just a part of us, and I think we should try to make take it day by day, take little steps day by day. It's not going to, like, this revolution, this whole change in the way that African people think or black people think or even other people of color think. It's not going to happen within a day or within a decade or something like that. But I think the most we can do is to take it one day at a time, to take small steps like this podcast, like just talking about it. I think we can get there. We'll get there one day.
Or acknowledging that the problem exists.
That's the first step. Acknowledging that the problem exists.
Yeah, that's what they told me about my addiction. Like, I first need to admit that I'm an addict, and then.
Oh my God.
So I was thinking, and was like the other day, because I looked at the older generation, like the generation that is just older than us. I was like, our parents' generation. I was like, I think, and for them it's over, and like I don't think there's a hope for those guys. Like it's done, they're finished. But then, like, for us, and there's a little bit of hope for some of us. Yes. Some of us are not gonna make it, because some of us are very deeply housed knickers, and then maybe the true hope that we have is like our kids.
Yes,
like the kids that are there now. But then, like they said, but did you see that meme? It was like a sort of like a school textbook, and that was written with like bodily functions. Then it came to the head, and then it was written to carry load.
Jeez. No, I haven't seen it.
And that is not a joke. There's something that actually really happened. So I was like, wait, your head is used to carry a load. That's all that is.
That is all that is. Yeah,
that's all that you can think of to use your head.
Actually, it's actually quite offensive. Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm offended.
Because I'm like, like this all that you can use your head for. Like that's it, nothing else. I mean, like, you can use it for other things, and if you know what I'm saying. But then, like, there's more useful things that you can use your head for.
Of course.
Like so like if you're a kid and then you grow up thinking my head is just used for carrying load. But then, like, do you ever like lose hope? Like, feel like it's like, no, like, all of this is just pointless.
I don't know. I think there's still hope.
Okay.
In like you said, in our generation and for our kids.
Yeah.
I think we can try to make a difference. And I think that because people are becoming more and more open, they're embracing just listening to the voices of people that have something to say. I think nowadays people now have a voice as compared like to our parents' generation. Like they'll just suffer through everything. Yeah, and now I think the world is ready to listen, even to a person of color, right?
Yeah.
The world is ready to listen to what us as black people have to say, us as Africans have to say. And there are more platforms, right, for us to just express ourselves, to talk about these things. And I think because of that, we can educate people. We can emancipate ourselves as Africans and free ourselves from these colonial strongholds.
Yeah. Because I think I know what the sport would like what the knowledge gathering phase would like people like first need to know exactly what is happening. They need to know things. They need to get some more education. And because I think I'm a graduate of the internet.
Of course you are.
I'm a graduate of the internet, and I feel like in Zima, like if we had more internet and that was more accessible and people could spend more time on YouTube getting knowledge, even though that's not a reliable source of knowledge.
Yeah, of course.
But like you sort of like plant
it does open. Yeah, it opens up your mind somehow. Every time I watch YouTube, I learn one or two things.
Yeah. And I think it sort of like plants it in the mind, like an idea which like, oh, this is, and then the thing sort of grows, and then it grows, and then it grows. That's what she said. And then it grows and grows, and like at the end of the day, and like you realize, oh wow, like the world is not what I thought it was, and like there's more opportunities for me to like make myself into something. Because I think I've said this before in podcasts, but like we just need one soccer boot in Africa and in each country, and we need one soccer boot, and that is going to reach the right pair of shoes on a kid, and then boom, we've fixed an entire community.
That's true.
Look at Sadio Mane, and like you like they somehow like they got that shoes. Do you know Sadio Mane?
No, I don't know.
Is this other guy, like Liverpool player, like millionaire, multi-millionaire now, like he plays for Liverpool.
Okay.
And like he started from the bottom, and then there's a lot of other players around. But then like you obviously know some kid in your life,
yes,
who was super talented.
Yes.
So if you're like, Ifan, we give that guy soccer boots, I was gonna make it far, and then he was gonna bring back to his community and not even bringing back money. It's not always about money.
Yeah, it's not always about money. Because that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about emancipation of the mind. Yes. Complete changing of the mindset, of the way we see things, of the way we think. Yeah, that is what we are hoping for.
Exactly. Because like, do you ever think of it like there's someone right now that looks at you and be like, if she made it out and going to the same school that I go to and reading the same books that I did, which means that maybe I can do it too.
Yes.
And I think things like that, they're the ones that make it really possible, you know?
That's true. That's true.
So I wanted to ask you about African names. Like, what do you think is the ultimate African name that you can give your kid?
Oh my god, I haven't really thought about that.
No, I wanna give my kid an African name, so African that he cannot escape it.
Oh my god. What if, I have had this conversation before with someone, and they were saying that, if the kid might be embarrassed because of the name, and then they ended up changing it.
No, what
do you think about that?
I think it's your fault as a parent if your kid grows up and feels the need to be embarrassed about a part of who he is.
Exactly. That is what I said. I felt that you name your child, and the way that you raise that child will make that child proud of their name.
Exactly.
Yes. Even if like people tease him in school or whatever, that child will always like defend their name,
he knows
and they'll
what
be
they-
proud of who they are.
And like this was also my great grandfather's name, and his great grandfather's name, and like that. So and because like I look at kids like that, and like we have got that strong cultural base, and I'm like, like that's awesome. That's cool.
I actually admire that. And you ask some of our parents right now, if for instance, I don't wanna say like I don't wanna badmouth my parents per se, but if I was to ask my dad,
Are they gonna listen to this? If they are, hello, hi.
I love you, daddy, I love you.
Hi, Dad.
But if I was to ask you, Dad, what is the meaning of my name?
You can say.
I bet he doesn't know.
Wow.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, like, I also don't know.
I had to Google it on the internet.
What did it say?
Something about ash and wood, something like that.
Ash and wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something to do with timber being burned, and then you have the ash afterwards.
So it's Ashley, sort of like ash.
Yeah.
But
It comes from ash.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a cool name.
It is a cool name, and I know why they named me that. It's because they wanted to have some kind of a pattern. Like my dad's name starts with an A.
Okay.
And yeah, so with my parents, I guess they decided, oh well, let our kids have the same initials as their dad. Just my brother and I were both AT, our initials, just like my dad.
It's real cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nah.
Yeah, there is some meaning to it.
Yeah.
And unlike some people, they are just out here just giving names. What's the meaning of that name?
Like ambient and shit like that.
Beyonce, why are you even?
Like what does Beyonce even mean?
What does it even mean?
That makes sense. But like you should know what exactly the meaning of the name before you give the kid to the name. All right, so maybe like we have like 1 more minute or 1.5 minutes of this.
Oh my god, we talk too much though. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the whole African, giving our kids African names. I just want to encourage like our generation that guys, let us be proud of our culture. Let us teach our kids. When we have our own kids, let us teach them our languages, our native languages, be it Shona, Ndebele or Tonga or whatsoever. And even give them Shona names or Ndebele names or whatever names. There are some very beautiful Shona names. I was on Instagram this other day, and I saw this girl, she was commenting on another post. Her name was Imbayashe.
Wow, that's a nice name.
I was like, wow, what a beautiful Shona name.
It's nice. It's very nice.
You see now.
Because
we need to do more of that.
Because like if you look at the Arabs, like you'll never find an Arab named
look at Chinese people.
Like you'll never find them called Matthew or some shit like that. It's Ahmed. And it doesn't care if you think he's a terrorist. His name is Ahmed. He maintains the fact that. So like maybe we should also maintain the fact that our names are our names.
Our names are our names. Our language is our language. I know someone will argue that maybe they have a last name which is Shona or something like that. No, give them both. The first name and the last name. Let it be in your own language.
Yeah. So I think we have come to the conclusion of this very wonderful podcast.
Yes.
If you are now here by now, which means that you are a very, very bored person. or you like this podcast very much. I'm sorry, I'm a very self-conscious person. I try to protect myself from harm from mean comments and shit like that.
Okay, I don't want to psychoanalyze you.
We'll
reserve that for another day.
So, bye and have a nice day or whatever, night, whatever it is, and peace.